Hi, thanks for watching. John here talking about breath work. And I want to address a certain part of this exercise that I've talked about before, and I want to go into more detail about this technique for kind of putting yourself in the altered state with the breathing exercises. So, in the previous videos, I talked about how to get yourself energized, and the process includes like where you breathe from your throat because you're able to move more air that way, and you can actually do it longer. Okay. So what you do is you start with this process. You can quiet yourself, find a calm place. You can sit down or you can kind of lean back somewhere. Laying down is a little different. You can do it, but I recommend kind of sitting up. So what you do is you start breathing this way, inhaling into your stomach and into your chest, and slowly going kind of expanding your body as you're doing the breathing exercise. So, but you do it a little bit faster than normal breathing, right? So start doing this for 5, 10, 15 minutes if you can. As long as you keep doing it more and more and more, you're going to get more comfortable with a faster pace. Because what it is it's like you learn how the pendulum swings back and forth. So there is no effort. It's kind of like becomes natural. You only start directing that flow and you start expanding, contracting, expanding, contracting. And this oscillation is part of the exercise. You'll realize how you're inhaling, your yin, how you exhale, your yang, you're feminine, you're masculine. You're doing this back and forth, back and forth. And what you're doing is you're breathing through your throat and then you're filling yourself up with energy. It also helps to visualize, like ground yourself to the center of the planet, feel the energy coming in and then feel the energy leaving. And you're constantly regenerating, refilling yourself with more awareness, more clarity, and then you're letting go of certain tensions. You're letting go of any sensations. You're staying centered in yourself, and then you're feeling your heartbeat. So you start with this. By doing this for about 15 minutes, your body is energized and it's full of air and it doesn't need air. You can hold your breath for a few minutes and you will be okay. Now, by doing this exercise, you charge yourself up. Then the next step of this exercise is that instead of going like this, there's two things we start doing. One is that you hold your breath. You stop, you exhale, you stop, then you tighten up your mula bandha or your pelvic floor. You tighten that up, and then you can also do, it's called a pelvic lock, to where you tighten up your anus, your front genitals, and then your perineum, and that's called the mula bandha lock. And then there's a throat lock. It looks like this. You kind of tuck your chin in like this, and you hold it like this. This locks the energy in this place, which actually helps you to kind of process the tension that we all carry in our necks. Okay, so you do the rapid pace breathing first, then you start exhaling, then you hold your breath. As you hold your breath, your heart will start racing. You're going to have thoughts come up to where it's like, breathe, I'm passing out, I can't hold it anymore. The point is to find your comfort zone, to how far you can push that. Now, going from rapid pace to holding breath, that's one way. Another way is going from rapid pace to slow and long breath, to where now you're and then you hold your breath. That's another exercise. By doing this, you become more comfortable with not having enough air because you're exhaling for a very long time, so you're already not inhaling. So you already put yourself in a position of lack, like you don't have enough air, then you start to starve and you feel like you need more energy. By focusing on your perineum and focusing on your spine when you hold your breath, you allow this energy, or you can say your kundalini, to come in from inside, right? So we're all kind of attached to the external. We all want the external to fulfill us. But by doing this breathing exercise, you actually realize that you can actually fulfill yourself from internal space, from yourself, from your gut, from your kundalini. So in this exercise, you do this rapid breathing, then you learn to hold your breath. Get yourself to be comfortable with not having oxygen, but realize you're not starving yourself because you just breathed for 15 minutes and you oxygenated your body. Okay? So the next part, I'm sorry I'm going kind of fast with this. I wanted to hit all the points and not make this video too long. So the next part is like this. I get to the point where I hold my breath. Okay, I exhale, I hold my breath. Then like I can't do it anymore. I can't. I have to breathe. Instead of taking a full breath, take 10%, just a little bit. And then hold it again. And then exhale 10%. Then hold it again. So what you're doing is you're pushing yourself to the limit of your comfort zone. And then instead of coming back to being very comfortable, you actually just give yourself a little bit of air. And then exhale again. And a little bit of air. Then exhale again. And then slowly push yourself to the point where you're almost not breathing. You're just taking with a little bit longer spacing in between. But what you realize in that moment, this is very important. You're at the edge of your comfort zone. You feel like you need to breathe. Your heart is beating. This is how you tap into your sensations. And you realize that you can actually give yourself energy from within. So you get yourself to the edge of your comfort zone. You give yourself a little bit of air, just like you take only what you need to keep going. Don't take, oh my God, I couldn't do it anymore. It was so hard. La 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 la. No, like take a little bit. See if you can handle it. Exhale. Take a little bit. See if you can handle it. Exhale. So now you're surviving on a lot less air, but internally you feel like you're like in a different state of awareness. That's what happens, right? You push yourself to the comfort zone. Then, as you keep doing this, you realize that there is this oscillation that happens. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And you realize that it's not only physical, it's also mental. And I talk about this in other videos to where you realize how your mind oscillates. You do this. You're going this way, you're going that way. You're pushing, you're pulling. You're pushing, you're pulling. You're up, you're down. You're in, you're out. You're left, you're right. You're forward, you're backwards. You keep this oscillation going. So what I'm trying to explain here is that you go from breathing physically to fulfilling yourself spiritually or energetically. So you push yourself to the edge of your comfort zone to where you're only getting 10% of the air, but then you're still there. You're like, oh my God, I'm maintaining the state of awareness and I'm not passing out. Why? How is this possible? Because you activated your mind and now you start oscillating in your mind. Boom, 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 boom. Sometimes feeling your heartbeat helps because you realize this oscillation that goes back and forth. So you transition from being physical to being spiritual. You transition from acting out externally to actually just using your mind to energize yourself. And also visualization helps because you feel like you're grounded. Walter Russell talks about this, how the energy of creation is going in and going out at the same time, right? This is what you're trying to do with your mind. First you do your breath. Inhale, exhale. Then you do it with your mind. In, out. In, out. This cycle. Boom, 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 boom. That's what your heartbeat is. It goes back and forth, right? So you learn to do this with your mind, and then when you get to the edge of this comfort zone, and you're only breathing 10%, then you're breathing 5%, then you're breathing 2%, then maybe 1%, and then you start doing it with your mind. And then you start doing it with your whole being, where it's like boom, 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 boom. And then you realize you can exist in that space. You exist in that oscillation, that cycle. And that our breath is only an external, physical 3D expression of this oscillation that happens with the creation. So this exercise will teach you how to go from physical breathing exercises to physical charging your body to go in full energetic, to where now you're no longer opening your mouth, no longer breathing anything in. You just go boom, 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 boom. And you fulfill yourself internally through this internal energy. And it gives you enough energy to sustain yourself for a few minutes. It takes practice for a few minutes to get to where now you're in a different state of consciousness, to where you're not breathing at all. You're only doing the oscillation with your mental space. And then of course there's other exercises to where you just become, unite the two opposites, to where you're just present on both sides, because now you're oscillating so fast, you're on both places at once. Then you're fulfilled without having this dualistic oscillation. That's like the next video. I'm going to talk about this later on. So this is the practice. I hope it makes sense. Subscribe, leave any comments, any questions, please send me requests or anything, any questions you have. But this is the part that I wanted to convey today, is how we go from physical breathing to mental oscillation and energetic. Grounding is helpful, visualization is helpful, and then realize how the energy of creation is going out and going in at the same time, and we're trying to like align to that. It's like trying to like hold on to a train going one way and then train going another way, and you're like this, you're being pulled in two directions at once, so you don't know how to balance yourself out. This is what happens with these practices. Thanks for watching. See you next time.